Damn, refrigerator's gonna get it. Damn it. All right, welcome back to Underrated Movies. I'm your guy. I'm your man, Mr. Alton Henry. Today, I'm gonna talk to you of another underrated film. I'm your guy. I'm your man, Mr. Alton Henry. Today, I'm gonna talk to you of another underrated animated feature that I saw on Disney Plus. That I don't think. Well, I think it won an Oscar at the Oscars, but suddenly I don't believe it's a classic because it's not talked about as enough as a classic. I mean, yeah, the movie's gonna be 3 years old now, and when I watched this, I thought a couple things. One, I thought the film mirrored a lot of my personal flaws and some of my issues of, I would say, just life. It felt very relatable. And then also, this was a very touching film about living your life. This is the Disney film Soul, starring Jamie Foxx. I think Tina Fey's in it, and what else is in it? Uh, Alyssa Braga, but mostly about Jamie Foxx. It's a story about a jazz teacher who's very good at jazz, voiced by Jamie Foxx, who suddenly gets a gig to perform for a group, or along with a jazz group, to perform for him. Hopefully, they will get him his big break. And suddenly, he ends up dying and turned into a soul. And with this unforeseen circumstance, Joe Gardner tries to do whatever he can to go back to Earth, back in his own body, to make something out of himself as the jazz player that he is, or he has believed himself to be. And this is a very deep story. And I would say this is one of their underrated gems because I personally believe, and I believe this film touches on subjects that I think can relate to both kids and adults, mostly on adults. I think adults will get this a lot more, because it touches on the theme of death, purpose, and enjoying life, especially the small moments in life. And we, I believe, are in a world now that is constant instant gratification. We're always looking for the next validation we receive from people, and we're always in a rush, and we don't really take a moment to embrace what we have and in the moment of just enjoying it. Um, Especially with this character, Joe Gardner, where he has solely convinced himself that jazz is his only passion. He completely ignores all other aspects and beauty about life, and he does not, and becomes a bit ignorant about what else life has to offer besides just jazz. And it's a touching story of how one man or one person can dedicate their whole life to one aspect of themselves, or actually most of their whole aspects of themselves, and completely ignore the rest. I mean, when you see certain scenes in this movie, and some of it I was actually kind of like heartbreaking. The film has a good balance between drama and comedy. And well, it's a Disney movie. They're going to balance the two, but I thought they balanced it evenly while touching on some pretty interesting and more mature themes when it comes to the afterlife, especially this one particular scene. And that's actually one of my favorite sequences because it actually, I wouldn't say well, I won't say how it affects me, but there's a scene in there where he's talking to this one soul. I think it's called, uh, was it number 11 or 22? 22. He talks to this soul called 22 which is actually a subplot, and it kind of drives a good chunk of the movie where Joe Gardner meets this soul named 22, and 22 has to learn a new quality about life that they can understand and appreciate. And once they get this badge, you're supposed to get a certain amount of badges for them to go out into Earth and experience what life is like on Earth. And there's a sequence in there where Joe sees parts of his life that are positive and then parts of his life that are not so positive, where he's basically most likely alone. And he looks at himself in the few moments in his life that he's completely, like I said, ignored all other parts of his life that he could have made time for, but didn't, but chooses to isolate himself in certain parts of his life, and he sees that reflection, and he believes himself that his life was meaningless, but he jumps back from it saying, no, I need to get back to Earth to go out and do this. There's a little bit of a twist here, which I thought felt more of a Disney cliche, where there's like a body swap, because when Joe passes on and becomes a soul, and then tries to help this other soul to earn the reward of living, they end up actually switching different bodies. And I won't get into detail into how that happens, but um, and it's actually interesting to see how 22 is able to enjoy more of the smaller things of life, and Joe doesn't, and you see that kind of bounce kind of back and forth. So when Jamie Foxx gets his real body and has this revelation towards the end that he realized his life is kind of just going by and he's not taking the time to fully enjoying it. And I thought that was a very touching theme with this movie, and like I said, it really resonated with me personally, and for me, I really need to make some changes here. Music was good. Everything else about this was amazing. The animation was beautiful. I thought, to me, hands down, and this is just my opinion, okay? I think this is my new favorite Disney film. It might be a little bit better. It's better than most of the Toy Stories. It's better. Like Toy Story is like up there, but this one right here, I believe, is close to Toy Story 1 and 2. Just as a Disney Pixar film. But if you're saying it's Pixar, well, shoot, it's kind of like up there. Soul is just amazing. It's beautiful. The themes, I can tell you, it's a tearjerker. Like it has a lot of interesting themes and concepts about aspects about life and the thought and the idea of what it means to be alive and living your life, and learning about other topics about the world to gain more knowledge about and just learning more about it. Like it kind of really makes you think, but it's also, I think, a theme for kids that I think they have to watch when they get a little bit older. But I think they're more than welcome to watch it to experience the film. But I don't think they're going to fully understand the concept of it. Uh, I love this film. This actually, you know what? Screw it. It might be one of my favorite movies ever now. Mostly in the Disney animation world, I can tell you this film is definitely, I would definitely own it on Blu-ray. I would definitely just have it. But um, I love this film. Like, you got to check this out. Like, if you're looking, like, I know it's raining out here, but if you're looking for a good movie to watch with your family, I would recommend Soul. Have you seen it? Comment below. Let me know if you have, and let me know what is your favorite underrated movie.